in this one, we are going over episode 2 of Parry Everything, and you know what? I am still overall quite enjoying this show, and Noor is still a very likable, nice guy. Now, this episode wasn't that eventful. We just sort of had the meeting with the king and showing gratitude and that entire thing, and that's sort of it. And then with the supposed setup for a battle scene between Noor and Gabriel? No. His whatever name, the other guard in the castle there, next episode. Even though there wasn't too much eventful stuff happening in this episode though, it was still enjoyable to me. And a lot of the small things I did find enjoyable and get value out of and made me curious for more. First of all, the one I want to talk about is Noor, Lin, and Ines, which are going to be the main trio moving forward in this anime, going by the ED, OP, and cover art. And they seem to be a sort of dynamic trio moving forward, and I'm looking forward to seeing where exactly and how exactly they will sort of team up and the settings around that. Probably around training Lin, I suppose, in some way and form. We do find out that, okay, Lin is a princess, which was kind of obvious after episode 1 there, and she's apparently a mage, though she has skills in every other class, which I guess makes her somewhat of a genius. Not really sure, but it seems like that's what it is in this sort of world. Of course, Noor keeps being very clueless and doesn't really understand where he is. Even when he gets to the castle, even after he talks to the king. I mean, yeah, sure, he realizes it's some sort of aristocratic thing that is way out of his depth, but even after the warrior Ines tells him, you know, hey, you talk to the king, you have to be more respectful, etc., I don't feel like he really still realizes that, oh yeah, I actually talked to the king, or have that sort of, ah shit, I could probably be executed if I do something wrong here. It just keeps being very dense. I can definitely understand why some people might have the feeling of, I mean, I like Noor, but him being super clueless, super dense, and having a complete lack of self-insight is going to be annoying over time. I can definitely understand that sort of sentiment. At the same time, though, I don't think we are there yet, and I think it can be a somewhat nice character arc or narrative arc if he, through the world he is now currently in and what he has been thrust into by saving the princess, can slowly over time start to realize to himself that, even though I thought I was weak and I was told my entire life I couldn't be strong or I didn't have the skills I needed, and I just thought I was sort of relegated to this simple life, that he then starts to slowly realize that, no, I actually am powerful or relatively powerful. I can actually fulfill my dreams, and then starts going towards that goal. I think that sort of slow realization towards that can be satisfying, narratively speaking, but I'm not sure they will go to that at all, or if they will just sort of keep going with this, well, you know, he's just dense and that's a trait he has. That might not be as satisfying in the end, but we'll see. I do also like, for example, a lot of the interactions between Noor and Lin this episode, especially when Lin is like super adamant about, no, I have to thank you, I have to give you something, I have to show my gratitude somehow. If I don't, that's just unacceptable. And Noor just keeps declining. It's like, no, don't need that. No, don't need that. Nope, don't need that either. Just to the complete chagrin of Lin and later the king. It's like, huh? Oh yeah, do you want like power or land? No, I don't need any of that. Yeah, what about some national treasures? No, I'm good. I don't need any of that. Like, huh? Well, in that case, what about this sword? Okay, yeah, sure, thanks. That humorous aspect was also enjoyable, I have to say. And just also the music stopping when he was in the interaction with the king. And you have this sort of majestic music of like, oh yeah, it's gonna be rewarded. But then clips to him, music stops. Like, no, I don't need any of that, I'm good. Like, goddamn, okay. Yes, just the interactions between Princess, Lin, and him I found to be pretty enjoyable. I like how she is so adamant to reward him. And just having that deep need and want of like, I have to give him something. I have to reward him somehow. Like, it's just indignified of me not to do something. I mean, I have to somehow feel like I have given him something for what he has done, even though she probably feels like she can never really repay him for saving her life. I mean, that's sort of an impossible thing to really repay in a proper way, you know? But I like that dedication from her, and also Noor sort of realizing that and having that sort of quick flashback to his past, that sort of determination of, I won't stop until you give this to me. In Noor's case, not stopping until he got accepted to be trained as a cleric, I guess it was in the flashback. So that interaction I found enjoyable. And of course, just Lin and Noor having some interactions throughout the episode. It's kind of cute. You know, I think they can be a nice dynamic to bounce back and forth on moving forward in the show. And she seems like a nice likable character. So does Ines, I suppose, though Ines is a bit more of a questionable character in terms of how much I like her moving forward, but we'll see. Yes, the cluelessness of Noor can definitely not be understated here, even though he's walking through the castle, right? I mean, he is completely dense. Like, this is a very nice place. I wonder who these people are. I mean, okay, at least he realizes they are aristocrats, or as he says, it must be one of those so-called wealthy people. Ah, yeah, it's one of those rare breeds, the wealthy. It's like, okay, Noor. I guess you're slowly getting there, kind of. Though in this case, it's the actual aristocrat of aristocrats. So, close enough, I guess. Close enough. Definitely one of the wealthy people, so I guess you are right in that sense. I have heard criticisms of the first episode. For example, when he fights the Minotaur and him not realizing it is a powerful monster and sort of keeps being in denial, I guess, so to speak. But I think both that and this, in terms of him not realizing where he is or the people he's actually talking to and the importance of them, I think it can be explained by his sort of simple upbringings. He came from, the boonies, knowing nothing about anyone. And even in the capital city here, I mean, I feel like he's just sort of been living a very modest life. He hasn't talked to anyone. He's not learned. He doesn't read books. He doesn't really walk around the streets. He just goes to work and sleeps and goes to work and sleeps and only knows people in, I guess, the poor districts and has these human close connections between people, but isn't really that sort of invested in anything else in the world. And it's not that unreasonable that, I mean, in the past, in our own world even, poor people wouldn't necessarily know much about the royalty or aristocrats. Like, they knew they existed, but they didn't have much intimate knowledge of them because those worlds didn't really ever cross. So I think it is fair enough to sort of explain away why Noor doesn't really understand or know like who these people are or what they are and the gravity of the situation he has found himself in. I can find that explainable. But of course, if they keep just pouring it on him never realizing what is going on, yes, that will be not great. We'll have to see though. After Noor gets to the castle though, we get introduced to Ines, which Noor mistakenly thinks is a maid. I mean, based woman in a castle that's bowing to the princess. Must be a maid. That battle armor though. Yeah, sure would make it difficult to wash clothes. Holy based, Noor, holy based. But no, she is actually a guard because, yeah, she has, full-on armor. But still, nice guess, Noor. Close, very close. Regarding Ines, though, after the whole interaction with the king, and when Ines wants to talk to him, I guess she feels sorry for treating him like a potential threat, though that is her job, so fair enough. But the interesting part of the interaction there when she apologizes is, of course, the reaction that Ines has when she asks his name, and of course he responds Noor, and we have that scene of her eyes widening, like, Noor, and then her sort of walking away. Now, we don't know what that means, of course, but clearly Ines knows of Noor or has heard his name before somewhere or knows him from somewhere before. My only real hypothesis here that I think is likely is that they went to the same sort of training school back in the day. Maybe when he was training to be a warrior and she was at the same school at the same time. Maybe she saw him training and never gaining skills and never leveling up and just seeing him struggle and keep going day after day before being kicked out. And that's where she knows him from. And then the contrast from that to now is what is setting her off. I feel like that is the best explanation I have for why she might know him, because I don't know where else they would really meet in this world except for a place like that. Though I suppose technically you might have some sort of correlation with his parents, and maybe they were adventurers in the past or something along those lines, and the name was like known in that way, but I really doubt that. So my buck is definitely on the training school correlation between these two. We'll have to see, though, moving forward in the show. But yes, I mean, overall, I liked episode 2. Nothing too much happened in this one in terms of plot or developments, but we got introduced to Lynn properly and Ines and I guess the king as well. King being a very surprisingly decent guy. Way less snobby and elitist than the average king. But overall, I think a very decent episode. Overall, I think a nice experience, nice and chill. And also, I also have to note that I did really like the simple way that this show keeps showing off Noor's power. They don't need to have a big mock battle, though I suppose that is happening next episode with this guy that wants to test himself. But in the throne room, we didn't have to have some sort of mock battle to showcase his strength, just him picking up the sword, doing a single swing, and the wind just blowing through the room, and by the reactions of the other people in the atmosphere, you can tell how surprising that was and how powerful that felt to everyone in the room. That sort of show don't tell, simple showcase of power is something that is much too little utilized in anime and anime narratives, because they usually have to be way more emotive and explain things overtly. It's like, oh my god, Sugoi. But no, you don't get that here. And I really appreciate that. Because I think that is a nice, refreshing way to showcase someone being powerful without overtly explaining it to the viewer in a very obvious way. Otherwise, though, I do also think there are some potential interesting conflicts here with the geopolitics, the empire we get to know a bit about, and them wanting to assassinate the princess with this minotaur and wanting a war to get control of the oldest dungeon, which is in the kingdom here, and that potential conflict and how that might develop. Okay, that's interesting. I love geopolitics and sort of conflicts in worlds like this. So I hope they do something with that. The other potential threat they were hinting at, I'm not sure what is, but okay, I'm interested. I want to know more. Overall, though, as I said, I like the episode. I think that this show has a lot of potential still, even though I don't really know where they will go with it, if they will go more serious or more lighthearted. But so far, I'm definitely enjoying it, and it's a nice, chill watch, and I'm just rooting for Noor to accomplish much in this world and have a nice time living his life. That being said, what do you think of this episode? Like it, hate it, leave all those thoughts below. And if you liked the video, please remember to like and subscribe. Greatly appreciate the support and your want to help me grow the channel here. That being said, hope you have a nice day. Keep watching anime, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.